a lot of times people will get their prepare their dialogue, their character, their part, but they don't prepare to play when they show up to set. And to be present and to listen is to be open to the experiences that you might experience on a whim on set with your scene partner. Not to be married to the choices that you make while you're performing in the mirror or performing at home, but just, again, being open to just playing when you show up on set.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Film Goals Podcast. Today, I'm with the one and only Jonathon James.
Yes, sir.
Jonathan C. James.
Your
full,
right.
full name.
Right.
So you're an actor, but you kind of moved into producing and writing a little bit as well, right?
Yeah. First off, it's been a long time coming, my friend.
Well, thank you for being here. I know.
A minute, but
Yeah, man.
I am thoroughly excited to sit down and talk to you, and I'm thankful and grateful to be a part of your podcast. One of the many talented people that got a chance to hop in front of camera with you. So thank you for inviting me.
Of course, man. Thank you. No, thank you for coming through, bro.
Yeah. So as far as acting, writing, producing, and stuff like that, the producing thing, kind of still figuring out the strings to properly pull to do that. But as far as writing is concerned, I've been doing that since 2014-ish.
Okay.
Acting since about 2017, I want to say 16, 17, something like that.
That's cool. So how did the journey start? What made you want to get into acting?
Well, so truthfully, I never thought that I would ever be in front of the camera at all, and that's the God honest truth. When I was a kid, I've always, just like any other kid, loved movies, loved the almost the wish fulfillment that comes from sitting down inside of a theater, and anytime my mom or my dad would go and buy a DVD or something like that, even VHSs, I'm gonna date myself for a second.
Same, yeah.
But anytime my mom or dad would go buy a DVD, I would watch all of the behind the scenes stuff first, all the extras, all the how-tos, and this, that, and the other. So when I had the opportunity to take a screenwriting class in college, I did, and I fell in love with the writing aspect of it. Nothing came from it or came about from taking the class. It's just kind of, I liked movies and I liked to write, and it just kind of trailed off until I got the opportunity to take a class. And yeah, that was kind of terrifying, because at the time I have my degree in graphic design. I played football in college, spent almost 10 years of my life playing football, and then I did music for a long time too. For most of y'all that don't know that, I still kind of dabble and write every once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
What did you do?
Sing, rap, but mostly rap. And, and I wouldn't even bring it up if I wasn't nice either. I'm nice. But I just took a break from that. But I say all that to say that none of those things necessarily worked out. I got gypped a bunch of times doing freelance work for graphic design. Yeah. Obviously, football didn't work out. Injuries, politics. Me not necessarily being in the best mental space to proceed playing football, and music just kind of it was always therapeutic, and I tried to make it more than that. And I don't know, I always took it personal when people didn't listen to my stuff. So none of those things worked out, and then acting came into my life almost at the right time, and it took me almost 3 months to go to the class that I was invited to. And then when I went, I fell in love with it from jump. And I was like, damn, I've never felt anything like this. I've never done anything like this, and I think I should keep doing it.
Okay. Yeah. And you're good at it, bro.
Well, thank you.
Winning awards now, I appreciate it. So once you got to class, what was like the thing that, gave you that spark?
So in the class, shout out to Miss Kim. Kim Flowers. She's great. My first acting coach teacher taught me one of my greatest, one of the best lessons I've ever learned was a breath can take you anywhere. Learned that from her. But in the class, this first class, she was adamant on having everybody, no matter if they were new or whatever the case may be, participate. And I was like, oh man, all right, we're gonna see how this works. So did stretch exercises, breathing exercises, a bunch of other stuff that I was kind of weird about and unfamiliar with, but it was kind of, getting me out of my body or out of my brain and into my body, and just kind of like, just okay, here we are. We're good. I think we're all right right now. I think we're good. And then we got to a point in the initial exercises where I was teamed up with a young actress who I still to this day sing her praises. Her name's Ayaka Taylor. She's amazing. She could be on any television show right now. She's great. But Miss Kim threw me into a scene with her. And in this particular exercise / scene, we had to perform the scene while doing a tongue twister. That was the only way we could emote to each other and speak to each other. And the specific tongue twister that was given to us was, I love New York, I need New York, you know I love unique New York. And the scene was, she was my younger sister, and I had to go into this club or wherever she was at and rescue her from some less than some bad individuals, so to speak, right? So we're going back and forth. I love New York. I need New York. I love New York. I love New York. I need New York. I love New York. Going back and forth. And we both got so worked up in the scene that she started crying, which prompted me to cry. And then we gave each other a hug. And it was before I could, like, you could almost have this kind of like cathartic, I guess, release. Miss Kim was like, all right, let's go to the next thing. And then we went on to the next exercise or whatever. And I was just still sitting there reeling like, oh, whoa, this is crazy. I've never,
That was only the first class, or was that?
Yeah,
wow.
It was the very first class.
That's crazy.
And I was like, okay, this is okay. Okay, we rocking. This is, I've never done it. I've never felt this before. I've never experienced this before. And I was chasing that feeling ever since, or I've been chasing that feeling ever since. Yeah, it was amazing.
What was that? Where was that at?
Dream Tracks Academy.
Was that here in town?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Miss Kim and Frank Perillo.
Okay.
They were tag teaming class at the time. Frank being someone that taught me the second best lesson I've ever got, and it's very simple. And most actresses know this, but be present, listen, because you can go into. I'm gonna go on a tangent. Is that okay?
I'll go for it,
bro. We're tangenting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if that's a word, but yeah. I think a lot of times people get their prepare their dialogue, their character, their part, but they don't prepare to play when they show up to set. And to be present and to listen is to be open to the experiences that you might experience on a whim on set with your scene partner. Mm-hmm. Not to be married to the choices that you make while you're performing in the mirror or performing at home, but just, again, being open to just playing when you show up on set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being present and listen. Yeah.
That was a good tangent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it ties with the being present part. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, like in that scene when she just told you, like, all right, let's move on. Mm-hmm. How did it feel not to be able to process that whole thing? Did you is that the thing that you like, that you can't even like process what you just went through and then move on to the next thing, or?
Well, I think that it was. I didn't get a chance to like really think about what what I had felt until I like sat down in the car after class. So to answer your question, it was weird trying to like come down from like the crying and then continue to be a part of the exercises the rest of class and get into scene work and all this other stuff. And then yeah, it was very strange. It was very strange to kind of like keep whatever emotion that was at the time just to myself and just be like, I'm like walking around in class with my eyes wide. I'm like, damn, what am I what am I going through right now? I don't know. But it was odd, but I'm happy that, you know, class ended eventually and I got to sit in my car and think about it. But
that's crazy.
I'm glad that it didn't scare me.
Right.
It was more of a like, whoa.
It excited you.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, like I've never experienced anything like this. Like I told you, played football for forever, did music, and then the graphic design thing, and just art in general, photography, whatever, drawing, painting, all that kind of stuff. But none of those things ever like made me feel the way that like acting does, and it pertains to the story, that particular moment. So yeah, it was great. It's great.
Cool, man. So what was your next steps? Like, how did you start getting behind? Like, how did you know I want to be in film versus I want to be a theater actor, or do you do everything?
Sure. It's been like a very time is important. You know what I'm saying? time is very important. I look at all of the actors and actresses that I admire, the people that I hope to walk in the footsteps of, and I know that most of them, if not all of them, have touched the stage at one point or the other. Maybe, perhaps they even started. Oh, excuse me. Maybe perhaps they even started on stage and then kind of transitioned into film, television, commercial, whatever the case may be. So I originally started just wanting to do film stuff, film, potentially commercial, whatever the case may be. And I've thought about this a lot. Like I'm still trying to, because people always say that it's hard to transition between both. Like some stuff, a lot of stuff that you learn, like on stage, you learn to be big, to speak and talk to the person in the last row. Whereas when it comes to film and television and stuff like that, commercial, it's very subtle, nuanced, all that kind of stuff. But I think that they kind of inform each other in one way or another. I think, and I want to be able to do both. So to answer your question, how do I know which one? I haven't got the opportunity to be on stage yet because of time. You know, I work like 6 days out of the week now, and while I am fortunate, while I am very blessed, thank God, to have 2 jobs and be able to, provide for myself and other things, I would love to be able to jump on stage. I've had the opportunity to do a couple of table reads, be a part of the kind of the grassroots creation, or not creation, but kind of like ironing out and fine tuning of a couple of plays, but not necessarily able to be on stage. Shout out to my boy Chris Brown. Yeah, and Matt Morgan. Shout out to Matt Morgan too. But yeah, and Jason Nice, all the homies. I want to get on stage really, really bad, man. I really want to. I think it's a different muscle.
Yeah.
It's a different. But it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? I really want to get on stage.
So how did you start the short film and filmmaking stuff? How did you start getting in films, and how's it been going so far?
In in the beginning, it was it was a little rough. I think that when I first started, after, like I said, I was, chasing that feeling from the first class. When I first started, it was kind of a sudden burst of energy, and I wanted to audition now and do this now and be a part of this now and go this place now. And I kind of hit a wall because I wasn't getting any auditions and I wasn't doing this, and I didn't necessarily have an agent at the time, and all kinds of stuff. And it was just kind of frustrating. And I was still going and taking classes during this time. And then eventually I was able to nab a commercial, and a couple other projects under my belt, a couple of short films in the beginning, and again, like I said, the commercial. But it was just a lot of auditioning. It was a lot of self-tapes of just facial expressions and waving to cars and stuff like that, and all kinds of just ridiculous stuff. But it's all worth it, when you actually get the opportunity to step on set. And you got the cameras, and you got all the lighting equipment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all the people that are working and all the moving parts. And yeah, it's just worth it. It's worth it. All the auditioning and all that kind of stuff. So in the beginning, it was a lot of auditioning and just trying to get myself out there, getting the proper headshots, and putting together a proper reel for myself. Shout out to Abbey Ray Studios. Put together my first reel. And then just kind of seeing what sticks, seeing what fits, seeing where I fit in at, what's my character type, or whatever the case may be. What are people looking for? Not necessarily that I adhere to all of the character type stuff. But yeah, a lot of just putting myself out there left and right, or at least trying to.
Yeah, for sure. So I met you through the 48-hour film festival.
Yes.
And I think the first film I saw you in was the one where you're hostage with somebody else. That was who was the director? Was that Chris?
It was, Chris, for 24/7 Productions.
24/7. Okay, yeah. So I think that's the first film I saw you in.
Jet, Sabrina,
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Steele, Ryan, who's the amazing actress that acted opposite of me. Yep.
Right.
And then Gio, who was the bad guy. He was the sadistic guy.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw you on screen, and I met you at the festival, and you won for that, right? Or did you get nominated, or did you win for that?
I got nominated and won for Best Supporting Actor.
Best Supporting Actor, that's right.
Yeah.
So how's it been your experience doing these? Because then you did it again with the Coconut Films, and then you won for
Best
that
Actor.
as well.
Yeah.
And then it was crazy because it's different genres. You did the drama, and with the first one, and the second one was a comedy. So yeah, how's been your experience? And you also got to go to Lollapalooza. Let me know about all that.
I think that the 48 is an amazing experience for people just getting their feet wet in the film community here. I know that it's different in every state, every country. But it's an amazing experience. It puts you through the ringer, and most actors and actresses get, from my understanding, get a script at a certain amount of time. You get to sit with the character, you get to build the character, you get to talk back and forth between the director, writer, and figure out by the time production starts, what am I doing? What do I get what am I bringing? What would you like me to bring? And for the 48, it's collapsed into into 48 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's it's you have to think on your feet. You have to be willing to bend. You have to be willing to adjust and adapt on the fly, because it's crazy.
It's intense.
Yeah, it honestly is, man. And the more moving parts that you have, with 24/7, We had a whole crew with coconut meat. We had a whole crew. And it's just stuff just going and flying around you while you're trying to, like, for the first film, trying to cry, and for the second film, trying to be all, hit all of your comedic beats and this, that, and the other. It's great, and it's been an amazing experience since then. Funny enough, and this is no shade to anybody, but the year before I got the opportunity to work with Chris in 24/7, I went to a few mixers, I believe, for the 48, and then a couple other film festivals, and I had headshots, and I had all my information and my reel and so on and so forth. I didn't get picked up by any teams. I had, like, reached out to a few people and gave them my Instagram page and gave them all this kind of stuff, and I didn't get picked up by anybody. And I was a little bitter. Truthfully, I was a little bitter. I was like, hey, y'all don't know me like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know. But all I did was just kind of dig in, man. I was like, okay, if this isn't, you're not new to this kind of stuff. I've operated with a chip on my shoulder for a long time. So get better, dude. Take more classes. Keep reaching out to people, keep talking to people, whatever the case may be. Be willing to audition. Don't be above putting up a self tape and sending it off. Be prepared if you get an opportunity. Show up on time. Be professional. And, all of those things kind of bled over into the opportunity with the 48 in 2023. And then all of the opportunities that came thereafter leading up until the 48 for 2024. But it's been awesome. I'm truly just grateful for all the people that I've had the opportunity to work with and the people that I've met. And I like to think that it's just because I'm nice. I'm like, or at least I think I am. I try to be genuine, and I treat everybody the same, and try to make people laugh. And but when it comes to the acting aspect of things, just show up and be prepared. Make sure that I'm reliable. Make sure that I'm somebody that if you're, the camera doesn't lie. So if you put me in front of the camera, I'm going to be the character that you expect me to be. I'm going to perform the way that you hope and you would want me. You want me to perform, because I don't want to drop the quality of the project down a notch because I didn't show up prepared for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's been awesome going to Filmapalooza, like you asked, and have you? What do you know about Filmapalooza? What do you
I just know it's a big ass film festival. I've never been to it. Or know much about it, but I know a lot of the 48 winners like kind of meet up there, right?
Yeah. It's and it's the reason why I ask is because even if you don't participate in the 48, I feel like if you have the opportunity to go, if it's in the States, if it's out of the country, then that's a little bit, it's a little bit not sketchy, but you got to put some coins away. You know what I'm saying, to make it happen. But it's one of those things that if you have the opportunity to go to, I think that you should. It's this is like the best of the best, of the best, sir, with honor, Men in Black. You know what I mean? It's like all of the best people from all over, everywhere.
Yeah.
We have like me, Heather, Sean, Zach. We met people from Cape Town, from Poland by way of the Ukraine. We met people from Toronto. We met people from from Scotland. We met one homie from Australia. Shout out to Zoe. And it's all of their films were good.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. People from Japan. People from uh, everywhere. All of the films were amazing, and it was so. Every day it was like a completely different idea. It was a completely different story. It was a completely different way to go about something that maybe you wanted to do for the 48, or maybe it was a genre that you had hoped you would have gotten for the 48.
Mm-hmm.
It was different every single time, and everybody was good, and everybody was humble, but everybody wanted to win. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was so cool just being amongst a bunch of people that were like, just this. Yeah, it was the best. It was so tight, man. It was
That's
so
cool,
tight.
man.
It was,
Yeah, I'm
it was
glad.
really, really cool.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your personal projects now. Like,
Yes.
you said you've been writing since forever.
Mm-hmm.
What made you start doing your own project?
Um.
Has any of them come out yet, or you're still working on them?
So, from what I know, I was Room 423 is a short that I wrote last year. We shot it last October. At I think the beginning or the end of October. I don't remember. That one's in the can. It's being fine tuned and edited and pieced together ever so gently by the immensely talented Thomas Jordan, who's kind of a all-in-one, all-inclusive film film device, I guess you would say. But from the producer side, we were able to put a whole entire crew around him, composed of the again immensely, incredibly talented collective of students and some graduates from UNLV, and that one's really, really cool. And it should be out, or it should be out sometime soon. We're still trying to piece it together and get it to a place where everybody feels good about it. But it was an amazing project working with everybody. Oscar, Tania, Angelo, Edwin, Giselle, the whole entire Super Sherman. Yeah, it's the whole entire collective of the people from UNLV, the students, the graduates from UNLV, and then Thomas, and that one was a really, really good time. We shot it over at what's that hotel off of the Lexi.
Okay, yeah.
The Lexi, the one that's supposedly haunted.
Yeah.
Vampires frequent there apparently. At nighttime, we shot it over at the Lexi. Really, really good, really, really good time. As far as this year, I wrote something, and we are in early stages of production. Hopefully, we'll get it. The goal is to get it shot in September. Again, partnering with Angelo, and then my boy Andrew, and then my boy Chris, another amazing actor from out here. We've been meaning to partner up and put something down for a while now, since we met each other. But other than those two projects, I'm currently writing a feature.
Nice.
I'm knee deep in that one right now. I'm on like I want to say like the third draft of it. And all of these characters that I've been able to write for these projects, I write them just because I know what kind of stories I want to tell, but also what kind of characters I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives me an opportunity to step into somebody else's shoes completely, but also to showcase my range. And I think that if anybody that's an actor, that also writes, I think that we should all write for ourselves, and write for the people that we know are going to show up and knock it out of the park too.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Quentin Tarantino works. That's how Spike Lee works. That's how Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler have been doing it.
Yeah.
That's how even what's my man's name that does all the funny stuff? Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
That's how he works too. You know, you write for the people that you know are going to show up and kill it. And that's just where I'm at in terms of writing and projects and all of the other stuff, the money stuff and the production aspect of things. I'm still trying to figure all that kind of stuff out, like I said at the beginning. So
yeah, man. So like as an actor, do you think like that's important, like that's needed for you to create your own work? Is it something that you weren't finding out there, or is it just because that's what you wanted, a specific character?
Well, I've so my and I'll land the plane in a second. I promise. I'll land the plane.
You're good, bro.
So my all-time favorite film is Collateral. Jamie Foxx, Tom Cruise, Michael Mann, and that film not only introduced me to this kind of this way that stories can be told with two opposing forces, two characters that maybe even sometimes are almost like two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
But it also introduced me to Chris Cornell and Audioslave, which is my favorite band and one of my favorite all-time favorite singers. Rest in peace. But I bring up the film to say that its impact on me, I didn't realize until maybe I was a year out from taking the screenwriting class, that it's informed every story that I've written, every character that I've written, not only because I like the idea of, again, these two sides of the same coin kind of characters, but I want to be a character like that. I would love to be, you'll see when 423 comes out, but I would love to be a hitman in a story. I would love to be a spy or something along those lines. Low key, that's why I got this mustache, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Somebody sees me online, they're like, "Well, he can't be James Bond, but maybe we could make something a little adjacent, James Bond adjacent or something like that." But I would love to be characters like that, so I write characters like that.
Right.
You know. But I do think it's important. I do think it's very, very important for actors and actresses to figure out what they want out of their career, and set themselves up for an opportunity that maybe they won't get quite yet, because I rarely hear people snatching people up off the streets and being like, "You got to look. Let's put you in a TV show or put you in a movie."
Yeah. Unless you got like 1 million followers. That's
unless you got 1 million followers, and that'll happen.
That'll help.
It's bound to happen. Right. But yeah,
creating your own work.
Yeah, I think it's super, 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 super important. It's paramount. Because it's not meant to sound dour or gloomy, but ain't nobody coming to save you, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody coming to just give you stuff. You have to work. You have to prove that you belong on the set. And in the meantime, write the stuff that you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on the podcast, bro. There's a lot of information.
Yeah.
I hope people hear it. You know what I mean? As an actor. So
I talk a lot, man. I apologize.
Good,
I know that.
No, don't apologize, dog.
I know that's what podcasts are for.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I think that any platform that puts people in position to show love to the people that have helped them out, and people that are like staples in their career, podcasts like these, I'm down to be a part of.
Yeah.
So I'm truly grateful for the work that you do here.
Thank you,
for
bro.
the questions that you ask, for allowing people like myself into your space to be able to share. And yeah, man, I'm grateful to have come on and talked about stuff. I don't know.
No, bro, thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna put his info below. You guys can check it out. You know, I'll hire him. He's good. And I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.